So I think for a lot of people, when they think of posture, they think of it as something being permanent, or they were born that way, and they don't really have an understanding of the implication of these receptors with the feet and the eyes. I think for a lot of people hearing this information for the first time, thinking, okay, how do my feet work? How do my eyes work? They're probably also wondering, how do these things get off in the first place?
They're getting off more now because we're less active. People that I worked for 16 years in Jamaica. I was traveling back and forth. And the same Jamaicans from Montego Bay or Kingston had similar postural problem that we see in Montreal or New York. But my Jamaican athletes from the countryside, where they didn't wear shoes, that they were constantly outside, the muscle of their eyes were way more in tune. They had a lot of very good ocular movement, and also the skin of their feet was more sensitive. They had a very, very good sensor development. The podal receptor or sensor was highly adjusted to their environment and very highly active. This is why these runners, you didn't hear them when they were running. They were very light on their feet. Their movement was like a big cat. But a lot of people, like in Montreal, you put them on a wood floor, you'll hear them move. Same thing on the ice. My best skaters, you don't hear them. They glide. They have the one that they have a very good postural control or very good reprogrammation of the postural system. They glide on the ice. It's so effortless. That's why a game should stay a game, not an Olympic event.
Right, so for most people, I mean, we're walking around wearing shoes. We haven't from birth been walking around barefoot. So pretty much from the moment you start putting shoes on, you start destabilizing your postural system.
If you wear them too young, I always tell people why I've seen babies in a crib and they have shoes. That's why. That's why we always gave like this, like on babies, that the little brush you use for the head, you use it under the sole of the foot to activate it. Because naturally we live in Canada and we have like 8-9 months that we can't really walk bare feet outside. Even in the summer, it's kind of dangerous. But in the house, we should be able to move our feet like our hands. We need to introduce that to the kids, make them crawl as long as we can for the development of the brain. Now, like I was walking very early because in my age group, everybody had a jolly jumper, but it built artificial legs, but it was really bad. I'm very fortunate that I don't have hip problem, but a lot of people in my age group, they have a lot of hip problem because the coverage of the femur into the acetabulum happens a lot when you crawl. And if you walk at 8 months, that's not normal. Normal walking is about 12, 13, 14 months. The later on, and then you have a better gait. It's the same thing with the skin of the feet. If you're always protecting your feet against the environment, they're going to be shut down. In French, the French, they call it la cécité du capteur podal. It's almost like the blindness. Their foot becomes blind. And already, we're one of the only species on Earth that were 5 times longer than our base of support. It's amazing. Anything in the gym here that you put up, it will fall down. We don't. Then basically, how do we stand up? It's basically the skin of the feet that detects. It's connected with the cerebellum, and it's more complex than that. But to make a very long story short, the receptors, they dictate pretty much how you're going to apply pressure on the floor and how you're going to be in balance with the connection with the brain all the time. But if you're always covering these feet, you have no connection. It's like your Wi-Fi is turned off. But to activate it, you could use these little cobblestone mats. They have special postural insoles also that we use a lot. I've used, you've used to reprogram. But outside of that, walking on grass, walking in sand, gravel at a very young age, using these little brushes will allow the kid to delay or avoid postural imbalances later on.